Anyways, I don't know if you've heard this morning, Premier Eby calling members of the Alberta Prosperity Project, not calling them traitors, but saying they are engaging in treason by meeting with the U.S. Just what do you make of the Premier's comments?
Listen, I think that we have to take the separatist threat that we see happening in Alberta very, very seriously. That said, as a proud Albertan and a proud Canadian, I have no sympathy for them, and certainly the idea that there is so much foreign interference coming from the United States that is actually influencing these groups is very, very dangerous. It's something that we need to take seriously. It's something we need to push back against. Alberta is part of Canada, will always be part of Canada, and we should all be very vocal on that.
Thank you. I have a second to talk about Premier Eby's comments this morning, saying that he sees it as treason that members of the Alberta Prosperity Project were meeting with. Some members of the Alberta separatist group had a meeting with American officials. Premier David Eby is calling that treason. Just what do you make of what we're hearing from the Premier here?
This is an Alberta's issue, and as you know, I'm from Quebec City.
I know, still looking to see if you had any thoughts, especially as someone from a province that is no stranger to separatist groups.
Well, obviously, as you know, I'm from Quebec, and we live with people who would like to see Quebec as an independent country for decades. I'm from Quebec. I belong to Quebec. I answer the Quebec question. Have a nice weekend, friends.
Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, sorry, I'll start again. Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, je veux de prendre l'occasion de féliciter deux athlètes incroyables pour l'honneur de porter notre drapeau. Il y a deux drapeaux canadiens juste ici, mais les Jeux olympiques d'hiver 2026 commencent le 6e de février et je suis très très fier d'annoncer Mika Kingsbury et Marielle Thompson et notre deux porte-drapeaux pour cette Jeux olympiques. I'm very, very proud to congratulate Mika Kingsbury and Marielle Thompson for being selected as Canada's flag bearers for the Winter Olympic Games, which are starting on February 6th in Milano, Cortina. They're both Olympic champions, they're world champions, they're Olympic veterans, they're extraordinary ambassadors for our country, and I'm so proud of both Marielle and Mika. And next week, the Canadian Olympic Committee will be announcing the entire roster of Team Canada for the 2026 Winter Olympic Games. Before that happens, I just wanted to take the occasion, before we head off for the weekend, to congratulate Mika and Marielle, say thank you for literally decades between the two of them of representing our country, and wish them best of luck over in Milano, Cortina.
As a former flag bearer yourself, can you just express your feelings and what you're hoping that they're going to feel for this choice?
Thanks, Dale. Look, there is really no prouder moment in my life as an athlete. I got to cross the finish line first at the World Championships at the Olympics. I got to race the Canadian Championships like 30 times in Canada, but truly carrying the flag at the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies of the Olympics were the two moments where I felt most deeply proud to be Canadian. That's just such a profound honor, and I know that Mika and Marielle are going to feel exactly the same way as they march into the opening ceremonies together, representing our country. They're representing so much more than just being an athlete in Canada. They're representing all of the great things that we have the privilege of being able to take for granted in Canada. Yesterday in the scrum, somebody asked me about heated rivalry, and I just made reference to the fact that Canada is simultaneously the country where it is safest to be 2S LGBTQ+, and it's also the country that loves hockey the most. So we're the country that should be having the conversation that heated rivalry has brought to the forefront. But it's also the country with the highest quality of life. We're the most educated country in the world. We lead the world in so many ways, not just on skis. But I wish Mika and Marielle and the entire team heading over to Milano Cortina to compete for Team Canada all the best. I'm so proud of all of them, and a little bit of nostalgia, Dale, but not too much. I'm just really, really proud of this team and can't wait to watch them compete. Thanks.
All right, anything you want to say about the flag bearers?
Yeah, just very, very proud to join the Canadian Olympic team and all Canadians, and congratulating Marielle Thompson and Mika Kingsbury for being selected as Canada's flag bearers for the 2026 Milano Cortina Olympics. It's very, very exciting. They're both world champions. They're both Olympic champions. They're Olympic veterans. They have done this many times before. In fact, Mika Kingsbury just won his 100th Crystal Globe, which is an absolutely astonishing achievement. But they're representing Canada, not just Canadian athletes, over in Milano, Cortina in the coming weeks. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish all athletes competing for Canada in Milano, Cortina. The team will be announced next week by the Canadian Olympic Committee. Good luck and all the best. We're really looking forward to watching our superstars on skis, skates, curling shoes as well, snowboards, all of the sports that we enjoy watching throughout February. And then, of course, the Paralympics will commence in early March. And at the same time as the Paralympics, we've got the Arctic Winter Games up in Whitehorse. So it's an exciting year for sport. 2026 will be Canada's year of sport between the Olympics, the Paralympics, Arctic Winter Games, FIFA, the World Cycling Championships. We've got a lot going on this year, so we're very, very excited to kick it off with the Olympic Games.
Especially as a former Olympian yourself, what advice would you give to members of Team Canada as they're getting ready for the games, in some cases, especially those who are doing their first ones?
Well, I'm proudly wearing my Olympic team tie under my sweater today, and what I always remind athletes is they're experts in their sports. Even if they're going to their first Olympic Games, it won't be their first competition, so we don't really have any true rookies on the team. They're all going over as representatives of our country. They are the country's best ambassadors, so I wish them all the best, and I know that their coaches and their trainers and their teammates will be able to provide better advice than a kayaker would be able to. But we're just, as a country, I want to say thank you very much for representing our country with such integrity, and I'm looking forward to heading over myself and cheering them on.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I actually want to take a moment to address what happened. My heart goes out to the families of the Cree First Nation of Mistissini. I was absolutely devastated to hear what is going on in my riding. My thoughts and prayers to all of them. We are waiting to hear more information. It is such a tough morning to wake up to. Thank you for taking the time to give attention to that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
To talk about ICFI funding. Sorry, give me 1 sec.
You got my attention for sure.
I was on the phone with President Koeverden yesterday. He's saying he wants this year from the federal government a commitment that there's going to be no gap period between when the current funding runs out and when a new funding cycle is supposed to come in. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that there's already a gap. I'm already receiving several complaints about how long it's taking to process applications. For example, there's a single mother of 9 who applied before the election who still hasn't been responded to. So that gap's already existing, and we keep pressuring the federal government to make sure that it's providing for families in Nunavut. There are too many families that are forced to rely on federal programs, and they need to do a better job meeting their immediate needs.
What's the risk if this funding, if there is a gap or the existing one continues?
It means that children will continue to go to school hungry. It means that families will continue to be separated. I just received, for example, another pregnant mother who has no choice but to leave her community to go be in confinement, and she sought approval to have her child come with her because there's no care for her baby. So now she has to apply through ICFI to see it because medical travel won't provide for it. And so families will be continually separated from each other if this program doesn't proceed. Okay, thank you.